Sheldon's worst Big Bang Theory lies could have been explained by young Sheldon. Hello everyone, my name is Alana. Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And give this video a like. Young Sheldon Season 6 may have finally provided an explanation for Sheldon's worst lie on The Big Bang Theory. On The Big Bang Theory, Jim Parsons' socially awkward genius has a habit of telling the Pasadena gang stories about his early years. However, it is possible that young Sheldon fabricated many of these stories, depending on how he wishes to address the gaps in Sheldon's memory of certain incidents. This includes his description of Billy Sparks, his neighbor and alleged bully from Medford, Texas, which does not appear to fit young Sheldon's perspective. The pregnancy storyline of Mandy and Georgie is a major plot point in Young Sheldon Season 6. Since then, Sheldon's Grant database story has also continued to be told. However, in the midst of these plots, the prequel to The Big Bang Theory also revealed a significant detail regarding George's upcoming cheating scandal, as Missy acknowledged that Billy had told her about his covert rendezvous with Brenda in the chicken coop. Even though Sheldon was not a part of this specific exchange, it might account for his most egregious lie in The Big Bang Theory. Related, The Big Bang Theory may be saved by young Sheldon's most recent plot gap. Billy was named as one of Sheldon's childhood bullies in The Big Bang Theory, which earned him a place on the list of the socially awkward scientist's all-time adversaries. Billy is not at all like the violent child Sheldon described in the nerdy sitcom, despite the fact that they did argue occasionally when they were younger in Young Sheldon. However, Billy's involvement in the dissolution of Sheldon's parents' marriage may be the basis for Sheldon's deception in The Big Bang Theory. Billy may be retaliating against Brenda for having an affair with George by making him the antagonist of his fiction, presuming that they do, in fact, have an affair. Sheldon and Billy get along well, as was seen earlier in Young Sheldon Season 6. Actually, compared to Howard in The Big Bang Theory, the child genius shows considerably more empathy for his neighbor. Billy and Sheldon don't interact much in the prequel series, so unless the Cooper child is still upset over Billy's foolish tricks on him years ago, his portrayal in The Big Bang Theory was completely unnecessary. If not, Sheldon might have purposefully misrepresented the character in order to defame him and his family. George's adultery plot has apparently been neglected once more due to Mandy's pregnancy arc and the page tale in Young Sheldon. However, CBS will eventually have to address the looming story as the prequel series approaches the established The Big Bang Theory timeframe. Sheldon's story of witnessing his father having sex with another woman may occur near the end of Season 6, given the 1993 timeframe of Young Sheldon. It may even turn out to be the season's last story. If not, Young Sheldon might keep the plot for the following season and make it the main arc, as Season 7 is already assured. For years, fans of The Big Bang Theory have been obsessed with one of Sheldon Cooper's biggest secrets: the seemingly innocent, quirky physicist who's beloved for his eccentric behavior, intellectual genius, and lack of understanding when it comes to basic social interaction, has a major lie that's remained a mystery for far too long. But wait, the truth is finally out, and it may have come from an unexpected source. In a jaw-dropping new revelation from young Sheldon, it seems that one of Sheldon's most controversial lies from The Big Bang Theory has been explained, and you're not going to believe the shocking details behind it. For years, Sheldon has been notorious for bending the truth in ways that make fans scratch their heads. But there's one lie in particular that has always stood out as Sheldon's most outlandish: his claim about never having had a father figure in his life. This statement, made in The Big Bang Theory by Sheldon himself, has been one of the most debated moments in the entire series, leaving viewers wondering, could it be true? Was Sheldon really without a father figure? Or was this just another of his many quirks? The spin-off series, which delves deep into Sheldon's childhood, has provided fans with a wealth of information about Sheldon's formative years. And with this latest season, young Sheldon may have finally revealed the truth behind Sheldon's most infamous lie, a revelation that has the entire fan base buzzing. Here's what you need to know about this shocking twist, and how young Sheldon may have solved one of the biggest mysteries in the Big Bang Theory universe. In The Big Bang Theory, Season 4, Episode 8, The 21-Second Excitation, Sheldon tells his friends a deeply personal story about his childhood. He claims that, "My father was never there for me." This statement has always been puzzling to fans, especially since The Big Bang Theory doesn't delve much deeper into Sheldon's relationship with his father, George Cooper Sr. Instead, Sheldon's father is mentioned briefly, and the audience is led to believe that George Sr. was largely absent from Sheldon's life. But was that really the case? Sheldon's harsh characterization of his father raised many questions. Why would Sheldon say that about a parent who was seemingly present in his life, even if not perfect? This discrepancy left fans scratching their heads, as George Sr. was clearly shown to be involved in Sheldon's life in young Sheldon, where he appeared as a loving but flawed father figure who struggled to connect with his son. So if George Sr. was indeed around in Sheldon's childhood, what did Sheldon mean by saying his father was never there? Could it be that Sheldon was exaggerating the truth to suit his own narrative, or was there something deeper at play? Young Sheldon is here to provide the answers, and what it uncovers may just change everything you thought you knew about Sheldon and his father. As young Sheldon delves into Sheldon's childhood, it becomes clear that Sheldon's claim in The Big Bang Theory wasn't entirely true, but it wasn't entirely false either. The key to unlocking this mystery lies in understanding the complex relationship between Sheldon and his father, George Cooper Sr. In young Sheldon, George Sr. is depicted as a well-meaning but often frustrated father who struggles to understand Sheldon's genius-level intellect and social awkwardness. Despite his love for his son, George Sr. has his own set of flaws, including a tendency to be emotionally distant and unable to communicate effectively with Sheldon. As a result, Sheldon's early years are marked by a sense of isolation, especially in comparison to his more normal twin sister, Missy, and older brother, Georgie. But here's where things get interesting. Young Sheldon suggests that while George Sr. may have been physically present in Sheldon's life, he may not have been the father figure Sheldon truly needed. George Sr. tried his best to connect with Sheldon, but his lack of understanding and communication skills meant that their relationship never fully blossomed in the way Sheldon had hoped. The emotional distance between them, particularly in Sheldon's formative years, left a lasting impression on the young genius. This is where the lie comes into play. Sheldon's comment about his father never being there likely stems from his deep-seated feelings of abandonment, even if George Sr. was physically present. In Sheldon's mind, his father's inability to connect with him emotionally and intellectually may have felt like abandonment, leading Sheldon to exaggerate or misinterpret the nature of their relationship. Sheldon's perspective, shaped by his own intellectual and emotional struggles, may have led him to view his father as never there, even though the reality was much more nuanced. Relationship through young Sheldon, we gain a better understanding of why Sheldon feels the way he does about his father. While George Sr. was certainly around, his attempts to understand Sheldon's brilliance were often inadequate. He simply didn't know how to handle his son's intellectual genius and peculiar behavior. As a result, Sheldon often felt neglected or misunderstood. This emotional gap is what likely led Sheldon to make the sweeping claim in The Big Bang Theory that his father was never there for me. In one particularly poignant moment in young Sheldon, we see George Sr. trying to bond with Sheldon over a shared interest in sports, only to realize that Sheldon has no interest in typical childhood activities. In another scene, George Sr. tries to teach Sheldon about traditional manly behavior, only to be met with Sheldon's utter indifference. These moments highlight the struggle between father and son, with George Sr. trying to connect, but Sheldon remaining emotionally distant, as he often does with those who don't understand him. For Sheldon, this sense of emotional disconnect likely led to the lie. Even though his father was physically there, George Sr.'s inability to emotionally connect with Sheldon left a void in Sheldon's life. This void may have contributed to Sheldon's distorted perception of their relationship, leading him to tell his friends in The Big Bang Theory that his father was absent when, in fact, the truth was more complicated. Another factor that may have contributed to Sheldon's lie is his intense need for control and perfection. Throughout The Big Bang Theory, Sheldon is shown to be meticulous about the truth and facts, often going to great lengths to correct even the smallest inaccuracies. However, he is also deeply invested in shaping the narrative around his life in a way that aligns with his own worldview. In Sheldon's case, his relationship with his father may have been too complicated and emotionally messy for him to process. Instead of confronting the reality of his father's flaws and their strained connection, Sheldon may have simplified the situation by telling himself and others that his father was absent, thereby avoiding the messy emotional complexities of their relationship. This need for control and clarity in his personal narrative could explain why Sheldon fabricated this particular story. By creating a simplified version of his past, Sheldon could maintain a sense of order in his life, even if it wasn't entirely accurate. So, what does this revelation mean for fans who've been following The Big Bang Theory and young Sheldon? It means that Sheldon's worst lie isn't just a quirky exaggeration. It's a deep reflection of his emotional struggles and the complicated relationships in his life. While George Sr. may have been physically present, his inability to emotionally connect with Sheldon had a profound impact on the young genius. Understanding this lie in the context of Sheldon's emotional growth allows us to better understand his character arc, not just in The Big Bang Theory, but in young Sheldon as well. Sheldon's experiences with his father shaped the way he viewed relationships and his sense of emotional fulfillment. This deeper understanding of Sheldon's past adds a new layer of complexity to his character and shows us that even the most brilliant minds. This revelation about Sheldon's worst lie is not just about understanding one character's past. It's about recognizing how the show has masterfully connected the dots between Sheldon's childhood and his adult persona. Young Sheldon has given us a more nuanced view of Sheldon's relationship with his father, which now adds depth to his portrayal in The Big Bang Theory. Fans who may have once dismissed Sheldon's comment about his father's absence will now be able to see it in a new light, understanding that Sheldon's emotional landscape is much more complicated than it originally appeared. So, what does this mean for the future of young Sheldon and The Big Bang Theory? It means that fans can expect more emotional revelations and character development in the episodes to come. Sheldon's past, full of contradictions and complexities, is far from simple, and this latest revelation about his relationship with George Sr. is just the tip of the iceberg. As Sheldon continues to navigate his life and relationships, fans will be left eagerly awaiting the next shocking twist in the Cooper family saga. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay with us.